Of course, because you know he's going to let you know if he beats you. So
right.
so maybe it adds in a good way for this squad. Look, we all understand the circumstances surrounding the Oni Warriors are not the best. I think that it's fair to give some credence to that being a major factor to them. But the reality of the situation is there are lots of players who are playing under similar circumstances and performing much better than what we're seeing out of the Warriors right now. So still always looking for more from this team.
And we're going to get some answers here on how the league is going to respond to Stewart as well, because we saw plenty of memes around the what was it, the Stooler and
the Stooler.
Stupid for Cupid, things like that.
You calling him stupid?
No, it's just the first letter plus the minus the first letter of the pick.
Okay, say it again.
Stupid.
Sounds like you're calling him stupid to me.
Who? Stu?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying stupid like Cupid.
No. It sounds. I don't get it, man. I don't know. It just sounds like you're calling him stupid to me.
I would never do that.
How about this? Cherio comes back to the SPL, and he gets the first ban is against him.
Yeah. Why
what
not?
is that about, bro?
Well,
he just got here, man. He hasn't even been playing SEC. He's been coaching.
Over under 1 pentakill in this set for Cherio.
Under. Should I Mifflin bet it?
You're gonna take the 0, the under.
Yeah, I'll take the under.
He's gonna get 0.8 pentakills, which means he's gonna get 1 quad.
Okay, yeah, I'll take the under on that one as well. By the way,
we'll see. Look, Cherio's a very game-wise player.
Yeah,
and maybe in a situation like this, that's kind of what the Solar Scarabs need. You need a good, positive vibe coming out of inbound, and then you need a very veteran talent with a good brain for the game, and maybe Cherio helps out in the short term, at least here in this set for the rest of the Solar Scarabs. We'll catch back up here, though. Tiamat, Gilgamesh, Umoja all taken away. Umoja, pretty good ban away there from Neoma, especially if the Scarabs don't intend on picking her themselves. Giannis, Fafnir, also taken off the table, and Morgan Le Fay for Dardez here in the first game.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me too much. This feels like a Dardez god. It lets you be a playmaker, be creative, and you can really play her almost assassin-esque, which is a way that Dardez likes to play when he's playing with confidence. And I say when he's playing with confidence because I really don't think we've seen Dardez playing with confidence all Season 8. So maybe this is the god. Maybe he's really vibing with her and her play style, and that can be a catalyst for him in this game. But we've seen what it looks like when Morgan doesn't really do it. And that was what happened to Big Man Tings in Game 1 of our set today, where he just really got ran at consistently. And that was a big key to that, was that the Leviathans drafted a ton of dive in order to counteract this Morgan Le Fay. Let's see if the Scarabs can do the same here with enough dive.
Odin feels like a little bit of dive there to add on to your side if you're the Solar Scarabs. To kind of contextualize some of the struggles Dardez has had, he has the second most deaths in the league in mids right now. He has 43 to Zero's 44, but also one less game played, so that could flip here in this game. 24, 43, and 65 is Dardez's KDA. And we bring that up because it's so unindicative of the type of player he has been in the past. So hopefully Dardez can get things turned around. Maybe Morgan Le Fay is a pick that we expect to see a little bit moving into the future. So Odin locked in. Some disruption as well with this Kuzenbo. Not a pick that we see all the time, but in the right circumstances can disrupt maybe some immobile picks.
In particular, Neil Ma loves us on the other side, so I like the Scarabs taking it away. And secondly, it just fits the dive idea of what you need to do up against this Morgan Le Fay. Odin dives her, or Kuzenbo dives her. That's exactly what I expect from this team. But you do pick, the Odin. We can talk about whether or not it's worth a top pick. I personally don't think so, but teams certainly do, so that's fine. Kuzenbo, not really worth that top pick typically, but good against what the Oni Warriors have. It lets the Warriors get some more priority picks on the back end, and for what it's worth, I love this Heimdall pickup for Vote because it's not, safety for him that I don't think he's picking it for. I think he's picking this for safety for Dardez on this Morgan Le Fay. If he's getting double dove, at least Vote can eject one of them is going to be the idea and buy him some more time and space in order to get out and reposition in the team fight. So I like that idea of a Morgan Heimdall backline.
And, it's a very specific situation. Crystal, you mentioned some safety, not for himself, but, if you use the Bifrost safe enough, you can remove yourself from some of that dive from Odin. Baronic, right, another guy that we talked a little bit about, one of the remaining players from a lot of the shifting that's happened, one of the remaining players that wasn't sort of affected by the shifting as far as his specific role goes. put him on something that he has performed on in the past. I think Merlin, a versatile pick aggro that has a little bit of safety built into the kit, also the potential to do some good damage. So I think the Solar Scarabs are covering their bases, admittedly, here in their first 3 picks.
Agreed. They've given themselves flexibility. Does this Odin go to Cherio? Does it go to Solar Troll? You're letting Cherry likely get a late pick in this draft. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Stu take his pick out of the second ban phase, knowing what his ADC matchup is going to be at the very least. And likely the jungler matchup, because Osiris seems to be a little bit more prevalent in jungle these days, though of course still can play solo, and we just saw Variety do it. So now you're letting the new blood on the team see as much of the draft as they possibly can.
How about, so we mentioned how Cherio comes back in and gets the Loki banned away from him first overall.
Right.
Now in the final ban slot, he gets Kali taken away.
Toxic.
There's something humorous about that, though. I mean, maybe I find, no, I can't say that. I was going to say maybe I find toxicity humorous, but that's just not true. That's not the case.
Well, what if I DM you some toxic stuff?
Like right now?
No, not right. No, Dave, we're on the death segment. What if, like, theoretically, a bunch of fans who might be watching Smite game right now would DM you some, like, insults?
Are you getting back
to make
at me
you laugh?
No,
at Dolson Live on Twitter.
Yeah, but you got to follow me first to DM me.
No, you don't. You can just DM him. You don't have to follow him. That's not how Twitter works, everyone.
See, this is just unfair because I got you with just a tweet earlier on in the week when I said everyone send aggro.
I'm not even tweeting anything.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's unfair. You've got direct.
Hachiman is the call here for the Solar Scarabs, and Stu locking in something with a little bit of safety here in that debut game. Love it. It really fits the style of what the Scarabs want to do, which is, again, dive the back line, make sure that this Morgan Le Fay does not get the free cast, punish that immobility. But it's going to be harder to dive now that she'll have a Terra really pocketing her in these team fights. I like the way the Warriors, I mean, obviously they think Morgan Le Fay is good. They top pick her, but they clearly have done some practice with her or some theory crafting at the very least on what she needs in order to be successful. Protection on the back line and set up on the front line, and I think that they've got both of those things. And I like this composition for context more for the Morgan than I did for what the Kings were doing with it earlier.
Right, and I think we touched on it actually when we were casting, where it's like it just didn't really feel like the full strength of Morgan Le Fay. Didn't feel like everything she was capable of. For what it's worth, remember T-Mat had similar struggles when we saw this pick that was like for sure going to tear
inside of Cubo, Fred, and Nika, who are going to go out there and immediately get involved in the Solar Scarabs backline, which kind of frees up Neilma on this Terra, who is already a great counterpunch god, to just act as that peel for Dardes and Vote. And Vote generally should be safe enough that it's even simpler for Neilma. Only has to emphasize making sure Dardes remains safe inside of this composition. And I think aggro, again, hits the nail on the head. Hate saying it, but Solar Scarabs, all single target CC. Only the ability to lock down one person. Odin, single target. Robin, single target. Even the Sumo Slam, single target. That is a very hard to execute on late game team fight composition, but early on, the Scarabs have an advantage.
Yeah, the only real lockdown, though, you can really see out of everything is they've got an Odin cage. So you can hold them in place, but we've seen that you can get something like a Phantom and just walk right out of the cage. They've got plenty of basic attack damage. I mean, you throw in that Osiris on top of it, Vode, I mean, they're going to be able to break those cage walls down pretty easily, so a little worried maybe for the Scarabs going in towards the later stages of the game. That single target lockdown, it's great to fill, but Stewart coming out of the SCC, we've seen the kind of performance that he can put on at that level. We saw that he did get a little bit of a chance for some SPL last year around this time, but he's got to come into, like I said, some pretty big shoes here. Zapman is not the easiest person to follow.
No, Zap is very good mechanically, but maybe more important is his ability to dictate the pace of the game, the shot calling that he brings. SOT jumping over the wall there. Thought maybe we'd see Kivo.
Merlin's better pen items. It's a great item for him. I'm not sure how I feel about it as a first item, though. We'll see how he can pan it out here as Vote and Neil making their way up to this purple buff, looking for a potential invade, but looks like Inbound will be able to catch him out there.
Yeah, normally when we see Spear of Magus in a build, it's with a little bit more lifesteal around it, as Inbound finds the Sumo Slam and puts Vote in a bit of a hard spot.
Vote may not be able to make it out of this one. He gets pushed back yet again, has the ultimate to get some distance. Inbound chasing him out,
no.
Looking for the teleport. He'll get through with just a sliver of health, and the Warriors are able to avoid being taken out for the first blood.
Cherio, though, with a nice rotation in, stops the Oni Warriors from continuing their onslaught. Blinks forward, finds Cuvo Fred in the back. Knockup's good from LaFay, but Cherio forced the ultimate out defensively here. Neilma on the chase, is able to lock him down for just a moment. Cherio is going to fall for first blood.
Cuvo Fred with a big ultimate to close that one out. Fantastic play there for the Warriors, able to close that gap and capitalize.
Is able to rotate out once inbound, does the same. I think that's really where we're going to start to see some strives in these team fights.
Cuvo Fred walking forward, but inbound spots him out and throws out the Kappa just to dissuade him from moving a little too far forward, or maybe that's for his best interest, because there's 4 players at this red buff ready to make sure that Baranik's able to pick that one up. Inbound gets a nice little push on to Neil, and Neil will be out just fine.
Man, that wall from Neil was so clean. Inbound had nowhere to go, gets caught inside of it, and Neil does not get displaced at all. Vote rotates in to see if maybe he can set something up there, but is not willing to use the Bifrost ultimate to send him out. Instead, it's Cuvo Fred, the target of aggression.
And his ultimate is already forced out, no beads available for him. He's going to get jumped on, but Nika rotates over and makes sure that Cuvo Fred can get out. Solar Troll not able to close the deal. Cherio almost losing his life, and Nika rotates into the mid. That'll pick up the second kill for the Warriors.
The Oni Warriors are dictating the pace so well. Good recognition from SOT to not dedicate his ultimate onto Cuvo Fred, who had already used his own ultimate, was very low, but inside that passive state cannot be held by the walls of SOT, so instead that cooldown remains up.
Dragon comes out, pushing Solo Troll against the wall. Dardes with the ultimate will make sure to secure the next kill.
He's not looking to invade, he's not setting up for his team, he's just saying, look, I'm here, you better secure it properly. If you don't, I'm going to seal it. And also, now you're 3 stacked on red buff, so your split is a little bit less efficient. It's just that threat on board that is forcing the Scarabs to bleed slowly.
It's going to be a collapse here at the purple buff. 3 from each team. Neil is the one in the middle of it, trying to steal the purple buff away and walking back towards kind of dangerous waters to be treading here, Neil. As 3 still stare him down, but the rest of his team is now rotating through. Nice stun onto inbound. Will catch him out of body block, but he's going to get pushed back by the sumo slam towards the tower. But Neil is perfectly healthy and perfectly happy taking this fight.
Lotus Crown already has a good bit of power, already has the Gauntlet of Thieves. Argue with it too much, as he hasn't fallen just yet, but I would like to see a little bit more damage from this build earlier on so that they're allowed to play aggressive.
Beads come out from Vote. Stewart has to use the Aegis. And with that, Vote will also use the Bifrost to get himself out of there. They're going to trade out both of Stewart's relics for that ultimate.
Yeah, Vote makes the right decision to go ahead and escape out of that one. Stewart was rejoined by his wave and still had the ultimate available, so Vote, with that Aegis timing, is able to go ahead and just leave. But the door is open for the Gold Fury, and, well, what can Inbound do on his own? Let's see.
He's going to try for it, but he's not able to get that blink through. Oni Warriors will get the Gold Fury. Nika also rotates over from the solo lane to make sure they can go for the secure or maybe the fight afterward. But inevitably, in the end of it, Oni Warriors pick up the first major objective of the game, stripping that Fury off the map.
The Scarabs are just playing so scared, J-Mac. They're not willing to step up on the defense. Nika now just allowed to do whatever he wants. I mean, take a peek at that level disparity. It is 5 between him and Cherio, and, well, Cherio goes to the gray scale screen, rather, for his efforts. Darda is able to take out the Tier 1 tower, and again, Oni Warriors are setting the pace and doing whatever they want on the map.
They're going to look for a kill on the inbound as well. The wall's cut off his path. Perfect placement by Neil Ma. And now inbound with no escape, no ult, no dash. He's going to be put in a tough spot, and Dardes will be the one who sets him back down. Stewart looking at the team, but I don't think he's going to continue forward.
6,000 gold at 15 minutes. Goose egg for the Solar Scarabs, and as much experience as well in favor of the Order side team. I mean, we are hitting our power spikes pretty quickly on the side of the Oni Warriors. I think these guys are approaching that moment in time where they can just go ahead and look at the Fire Giant proper. The Solar Scarabs don't have their second relic available on their support. They just had Cherio tick over to level 12, so has forced to head back to base immediately to pick up his next relic, which is slowing down his farm. This is a tough spot.
Stewart's going to go in with the ultimate to get out of there. Cuvo Fred, however, will jump over the wall and right down onto the Hunter, putting him back to the dirt. Oni Warriors with their 6th kill onto the board. Solar Scarabs.
We start to see this siege, and I think we will, very soon. Baronic on this Merlin, silver lining. SOT on this Odin, silver lining. We haven't seen a cage come down that's been impactful as of yet, and then Baronic really has not been involved in these team fights. Well, maybe we're not allowed to get to that point. Nika just going to go ahead and do the second verse, the exact level up this entire time, but he's been taking the path of least resistance this entire time as well, just farming his wave and getting out.
Vote. Gonna go aggressively onto Stewart's gonna get the
2v1.
beads, and Aussie has proc, so Stewart's gonna continue to take that fight, but misses the EI Jutsu on the back end, and Vote picks him up with one more basic. Now inbound on the run, stunned out by Neil. Dart is going for the chase, and into the ultimate he'll go. Hits 2 out of the 3 shots, but those 2 are not enough to take down the support.
No, but maybe buys time for the rest of his team to start to rotate in. The Oni Warriors say, who needs Fire Giant? We've got a nigh insurmountable lead. Might as well just go ahead and start our siege now. Inbound, still forced to hover around. He needs to get back to base as soon as possible if they want to put up a defense in this tier 2.
Qvo is just walking at Baronic in the mid lane. In a 2v1 scenario, mind you. Solar Troll is here, up into the Lord of the Afterlife, under Baronic into the tower. Goes Nika with the ultimate, and put another one on the board for him.
Nice
4
stun
for the solos. Meanwhile, Vote picks up Cherio, and maybe inbound on the back end of it. The Wildfire, long shot there from Dardes will put him down.
40 seconds on Baronic, 30 on Cherio and inbound, and well, SOT is not allowed to participate in this one. That's going to be tier 2 tower in left, tier 2 tower in mid, and we might be looking at a Phoenix as well here.
Right into the Phoenix they go, gets the ultimate out of Stewart, and starting to put the damage onto it. They've got the minions in to shred those protections, and nobody's able to make a solid defense. Solar Troll is too far back. Phoenix down to a quarter health. SOT's trying to block as many shots as he can, but that left side bird is going to go down, and maybe Solar Troll with it, but nobody's going to continue forward for the Warriors.
Oni Warriors a little bit too low HP to tighten at this deficit. It's pretty fair to say that the Solar Scarabs long shot could contest this Fire Giant, but I don't think they can let it go down. They have to put up a defense because that Fire Giant spells the end of the game if the Warriors get it.
Well, all the while, the Warriors were able to take down the Primal Fury and set themselves up for the Fire Giant. 3 on the right-hand side, starting it up. Vote dealing out the base attack damage, but they're just baiting somebody over. Now, somebody is Solar Troll, gets stunned out by Neil, and inbound's getting shoved against the wall by Dardes up into the ultimate. Needs that third shot to do some damage, and the Wildfire afterward. The Pridewind may have just kept inbound alive for a little bit, but the Sigil after takes him down. Fire Giant at half. Solar Troll still waiting in the wings, but with that leap, that's going to be the end of that contest.
It is. SOT has to walk away from this one, and meanwhile on the other side, what's Qvo Fred doing? Yeah, he's winning a fight up against 3 members all on his own.
Still looking for more. Dash away by Stewart, make sure he can get out. Nice root by Cherio, but that's going to get the Lord of the Afterlife. Over at Kick saves him for the time being. The fire comes out from Baronic. They're turning this fight on its head to keep Qvo Fred back, but it takes 3 of them to keep this jungler away.
Yeah, just keep him away, and well, I would argue that Qvo Fred was doing that. He was keeping the Solar Scarabs away from the Fire Giant, which has fallen. Now 5 members of the Oni Warriors have the fiery buff around their belts, and are going to go ahead and continue up their siege down this right-hand side. Whereas Qvo Fred, I mean, he's half health, but Fire Giant's ticking him up pretty quickly. He's just going to keep up that pressure and make sure SOT can't rotate in.
He's got those firemen just pushing with him while the rest of the team is over here at this right side. Phoenix, that bird stands no chance against the damage that Boat's able to put out onto a watery grave out of inbound, but he's down to half health. No dash, no ultimate, sent to the realms, waiting for his death upon landing. Neil will set up for the nice stun and kill for Vote. Cherio trying to escape the clutches of Nika yet again. Fire minions pushing in, looking for the potential end onto the Titan. Dardes puts down Cherio. Dardes may fall here to the damage of the Titan, not quite yet. 3 on the defense. Solar Troll, very low health. He'll be taken out. The Titan down to half health. And the Oni Warriors still pushing forward, going for that 22.5-minute win to secure game number 1.
No, I think their draft was better come late game. There's no reason to take your foot off the gas early. And I love the Warriors didn't do that. That they played aggressive throughout this game. That Vote was getting involved and forcing Stu to make the right plays. That Nico was legitimately bullying his old friend Cherio.
Yep.
Those sorts of things that's what you want to see out of this team. Because don't forget, everyone's going to be feeling, feel so bad for the Scarabs. They just made all these changes. Cherio subbing in. Don't be mean. And, I get it. But at the same time, the Warriors have 1 win this phase, bro. They got to find some dubs. And you know what? They came out here and they were ready to find it early. And I like that.
Valkyrie's also playing the Scarabs team this weekend. I'm sure we'll be having similar conversations about them as the weekend rolls on. We got a second look at the Morgan Le Fay here in this one. This is sort of tough, though, Aggro, and maybe a difficult question. How much stock do you put in a performance like this where, you know, I ask you on one side, how did Stewart look in his first game with this new team? This one got out of control. Hard to maybe gauge how Stewart is going to look long-term just off one game. Morgan Le Fay, maybe more of the same, but at 505, 11,000 damage, which for how quick this game was, pretty decent there. We could maybe see a glimpse at the type of environment Morgan Le Fay picks and bans for game number 2. See who's in that first pick slot. It'll be the Oni Warriors yet again. Wonder if Cherio will take another couple bans here.
Poor Cherry, bro. He did 1,600 damage. Nico was like living at his back camps.
Yeah.
And if anyone like Cherio is so like he gets so sad whenever he loses. And he's going to be sad because he did 1,600 damage, but no one's going to blame him.
And they banned Loki against him again.
No one's going to be upset at Cherio.
No.
But he's going to post a sad tweet on Twitter later, and I'm going to go, man, I hope Cherry's happy. That's what I'm going to think.
Wonder if the Oni Warriors are thinking about that here. Obviously not, because they banned out the Loki again.
No, they aren't. Maybe Nika is. Nika, good man. You know, he's maybe thinking about his boy, but he's still on his back camps and killing him for him. You know, that's how it goes.
Right. You know, once you're in game, all it is a name above the character's head, right? That's all it is. Unfortunately, it's your boy's name there in game 1. Banned somewhat similar here for the Oni Warriors. Similar, if not the same, for the Solar Scarabs. At least 2 out of 3. Odin, the notable difference here, Aggro, where, I mean, look, the Odin for the Solar Scarabs there wasn't game-changing by any means, but maybe threatening enough to warrant a ban.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm trying to remember what they banned in this spot in game 1.
Tiamat, I believe?
No, Scarabs banned Tiamat here. I forget what the Warriors banned with that third one before, but, you know, it didn't end up mattering too much. So I think it totally makes sense. Just adjust what you think the Scarabs are going to be doing. If Dardez, despite not dying, said, man, that Odin was super annoying, we got kind of lucky that it didn't, you know, we got ahead enough early that it didn't end up doing it. Yeah, Fafnir, sure. And that's what gets picked right away by inbound. If the Odin cage was annoying for Dardez and he's saying, hey, you know, I know in a normal game that would probably get me killed, might as well ban it away.
Sure.
Fafnir, Osiris, these are much more highly prioritized picks in comparison to the Odin Kuzumbo that we saw from the Scarabs last time around. Still pretty good at diving. I like taking the Osiris out of Fred's hands as well.
Interesting hover here. We have been known to get goofed by production every once in a while. On purpose,
surely not.
Where they'll hover something. Although this is being hovered, right? That this is actually being hovered in game. So whether or not it's locked in, not up to production, but gets swapped over maybe for the Heimdall. Look, we talked a little bit about the Heimdall. We liked it there in game 1.
Yeah.
Like it here in game 2.
Yep, like it for the exact same reasons. Good peel for the Morgan Le Fay. Osiris is going to blink in or ult in. If he doesn't have his purification beads up, you just send him right out of the team fight and let your Morgan continue to free cast. As it's the Kali right away, making sure that Cherio doesn't get
what this be?
Cherio wants.
0% win rate for Kali. Could this be, Aggro?
This is the true test. How cursed is Kali? Here's what they should have done. The Warriors should really have gone Zhong-Kui Kali and just said, let's see what happens.
No way they win.
No way. No way they lose after how
they're fighting against history, right?
They're fighting against history, but they're rewriting it, Dave. They're taking control.
Just like the Red Sox. They had the curse of Babe Ruth for all those years. Right. And then they took control of things back in 2004. And
by outspending every other team baseball, just the way we love it.
We weren't banging on trash cans. I know that's not your team, but
no, it isn't.
we're getting angry about it here nonetheless.
Hate them.
Final pick gets locked in for the Solar Scarabs in their top 3. It's the Merlin yet again. I think still holds similar value to what it did there in game 1, where Baronic, most played god so far, it's comfort for him, and so it's something good to stick with here for game number 2. Now the Oni Warriors can lay the pain onto to Cherio a little bit further should they choose. They not only ban Loki, they pick Kali. Could ban something else out, but Artemis was the ban for the Oni Warriors in their first ban of the second wave of bans there in game 1, and they'll stick with it here, not giving Stewart maybe a pick that he can perform well on.
And they banned the Kali last time for their next ban. We know they won't be doing that this time around, so they're going to have to switch it up a little bit. Don't think the Robin is necessarily the one they're going to take out of Cherio's
Who would be the next Cherio ban? Like Erlang Shen?
Erlang Shen, yeah. That's what I would think of for Cherio. Maybe if you thought he was going to really try hard, we're looking at Kabrakan. You know, if we're really throwing it back, it's the Athena. But, honestly, if you're in the Warrior shoes, I think there's some value in like banning Athena and just having a chuckle about it with Cherio. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Are you really that stressed about what you're going up against now?
Right. If nothing else, just having a goof with your boys, right?
That's
Maybe it's a commitment to a bit there for the Oni Warriors. They won't fully commit to it. Fenrir takes a ban, though likely still for Cherio to get that one away. Scotty hovered here. Worth mentioning.
Everyone's goofing, huh?
No, but see, we joked about this. Production. They're following along with picks and bans.
That's right.
And they hover what the players are hovering. They
Correct.
lock in what the players are locking in.
Correct.
So this is a real hover in game right now. This is Barracuda, I think, was mentioning that if he could play any pick, it probably would be Scotty.
And what does that say about him as a person?
Was it It had to have been during the media day. One of the players on the Bolt said Scotty.
It would be Barracuda. And what does that say about him as a person? Not good things.
He likes dogs.
He doesn't even have a dog. He's got multiple cats.
That's true.
He can't like dogs that much.
That's a misplay by me.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's a misplay by him. I think that's what we've
fair
discovered.
enough. Yeah, you got a bunch of dog owners here on the desk. No chance we go
Dog
in the
gang.
cat department. King Arthur, the lock-in here for SOT, was Odin in game number 1. Look, King Arthur brings that potential to kind of run that lane. I say that, and then there's also an Osiris there, which likely means Osiris in the jungle for Cherio.
I think that overall the Arthur fits what you need to do against the Morgan, which is close the gap, give yourself some knock-up immunity, which he has multiple forms of, which is really good up against Dragonflight, which is, of course, her main peel tool. But don't forget that a lot of Arthur's mobility around are dashes and dashing forward and that kind of stuff, and Wildfire is going to proc on you, and you're going to take a whole lot of extra damage. So
They did it!
They did it. And I guarantee Nika is like, who cares, dude? Let's just get it. Let's get it done. That's going to be Zhang Kui solo for Nika. A man true to the cause. You know, he's really out here trying to fix Gore's stat sheets for him. I love it.
I mean, this one goes down in the history books. This is an official Smite Pro League match. We might finally see some goose eggs removed, and, well, Gormeyes are going to feel a little bit better about it, and maybe all those Zhang Kui picks can become justified. It's hard to say. I think the Solar Scarabs have the potential to win. They've gotten a draft that can work. The only real spicy pick here is this Medusa lock-in. But, I mean, the Oni Warriors kind of convinced me here in Game 1.
Look, a win's a win. That's all I'm going to say. No matter the mode, no matter the god, no matter the situation. I think if you can get a win there on the column, finally break that curse for it. Again, it may not be in the best of situations for them onto it, but it always does feel good getting that first win on a god for the season, getting your name in the books for that one. And into the dual lane, we spin that focus onto it. Vote and Neil pushing inbound and Stewart back up against the tower already.
Yeah, I'm expecting that pressure to generally lean. Interesting, though, is QO Fred's build selection. The Mannequin Scepter immediately into the Light Blade. That is a fast build for a Kali that generally is going to come online a lot more quickly than she would have in a pre-post boots world, in a world where boots are still a thing.
I think it's also interesting to note Cherio didn't go for the Mannequin Scepter on the Osiris like we've been seeing almost every single instance of. This time he goes for the Bumba's Dagger into the Tier 2 Fighting Mask, and on this Warrior, he's able to just run down this Assassin. Not much Kubo can really do about it.
Yeah, he's just going to win the ability trade from a range. Kubo has to commit with auto attacks if he wants to win the fight. Had Kubo had just a little bit more mana there, I think we might have seen Cherio played a little bit more cautiously inside the 1v1.
Inbound and Neil both getting very low, using the walls as a shield here for Neil, trying to do anything that they can to keep themselves in this one, but Stewart's going to be the one to come out on top of this one and pick up first blood for the side of the Solar Scarabs, finally getting their first kill of the set here.
Oni Warriors got a little bit confident in this one, didn't they, J-Mac? And, well, the Solar Scarabs are a team that have got plenty of fight inside of them. They will make a comeback if you give them the opportunity. A lot of people would say that comeback mechanic, that mental fortitude, came from Zapman, but I think that this is a full squad of boys that know no matter what, every single game is winnable. It's just whether or not you're able to and allow him to just farm up, maintain a float, or even potentially pull a lead, and then hope that he can make that hero play.
Boat gonna get away from the Petrify, but still looking to fight inside this Bifrost. Going to get himself out of danger for just a moment. Neil now on the rotation, but that's just going to dissuade the Scarabs from pushing any further forwards. Vote able to make it out for the time being, but going over to this Zhang Kui, we kind of grazed past it. We talked to everything that we can about Zhang Kui over these weeks, but we see a tyrannical plate helm picked up by him. Well, we may have to hold that thought. Solar Troll takes him up to sky with the ultimate, immediately responds with the recall demons. Cuvo Fred on the chase for it as well. First dash comes through. Nice little stun onto Cuvo. Destruction comes out. Solar Troll still looking to find a way out, but Cuvo Fred will be the one to strike him down.
Maybe took a little bit longer than I was expecting. Cuvo was struggling to find the range on that stun, but eventually does close the gap, and SOT pays the price. Cuvo Fred, trading out his own ultimate, is going to lose out on the ability to invade, as Cherio has already rotated in. Meanwhile, Solar Scarabs are able to invade the red buff on the opposite side.
Nice wall by Neil, holds Stewart in, but Stewart's low on mana and is now rooted in place. Neil going to be able to help Vote take him down, and into the Bifrost. Vote goes again to get back out of danger, and Inbound forced to use the Draconic form as an escape option to get
4. He is potentially the safest hunter in the game, right behind Jing Wei. That Bifrost, so good to get you out of every singular situation, and because it's so hard to use aggressively, it is likely going to be available more often than not as that defensive tool. Solar Scarabs, though, very interesting, deep positioning on the Oni Warriors side of the map, but it's just Cherio. He's here alone.
Well, I did see the call out onto the right side that there were 2 invading the blue buff, also unsuccessful on stealing that blue buff away, but now Cherry is stuck between 2. Up into the ult goes Dart, is looking for somebody. Leap over the wall by Cherry, but in goes Cuvo Fred with the blink, leaps over the Arcane to try and get some final damage, and finally will be able to take down Cherio. Now Inbound stuck in the middle in the Dragon form, looking to stop Neil, who's just running at Baronic and Stewart, continuing their chase. Nice wall will force the leap out of Inbound and get him out.
It will. Meanwhile, the Greater Scorpion was taken out, so Gold Fury going to spawn very soon. Cuvo Fred stepping into the red buff. Baronic wishing that he hadn't. And, well, that's going to be a clean invade from the Oni Warriors again. But against them, they are looking to win this game. That whole engagement starts off with Cherio looking to invade.
And Cuvo might not be looking for much longer aside from the grayscale, but he makes it back to the tower. Nika rotates over, recall demons onto Baronic, going for the kill onto the mid laner. Will get him with the stun afterwards. That puts him down, and he's still looking for more, but with Solar Troll getting to the tower, I don't think he's got much more kill potential.
Oh, well, that's what you would think. Finds the double slow, but doesn't take it much further than that. Been a little while since Nika's head back to base, so you can head back now and get a lot more items.
Oh,
but
nope.
No, okay, yeah, let's go back in.
Gonna dive onto Solar Troll, hiding under the tower, but the tether comes out from Cherio, keeping the 2 mages away from their warrior, but Cherio's the one who jumps in the middle of 3 of them. Dragonflight comes out to push Cherio away. Petrify comes out to slow 2 of them. Cuvo has made his rotation back and gets a nice stun afterward, and Nika able to clean up Cherry.
Neoma so smart with the wall to peel out for himself, but at the end of the day does leave Dardes high and dry. Stewart with the rotation able to pick that one up, and well, Nika, you went into their tower. It's only fair they do it to you.
They're going to dive right on. Hammer is good. Double kill for Stewart. Solar Troll slams Cuvo Fred back onto the ground. And Cuvo looking for another kill. Going to get the nice success. Not a full health reset, but at least a nice kill on the board.
I can't believe Cuvo didn't try and continue that chase. Still has
by the Fire Giant for just that little extra XP.
Speaking of Neil, he's been playing incredibly well on this Terra. Just
yeah.
Using that wall as a wall instead of as that guaranteed stun has been very interesting to watch. Consistently using it to lock down rotation paths or block auto attacks or just set up for follow-up CC.
Inbound up into the Dragon form, looking for Voe. He's going to get stunned down before he can get to the Bifrost. The double ultimate comes through just to make sure that he can't make it out of there. Inbound gets credit for the kill on that one. Looking for Neil too, diving into the tower. Cherio going to get a nice little tether to keep him locked down. Inbound still needs a few more basics. It's the Dragon Breath on top and will pick up the double kill for the support.
Yeah, maybe don't play with your food, Oni Warriors, because it'll fight back. Solar Scarabs. Maybe we need to see more from the Scarabs, but instead, it's dead even. Gotta think the Warriors are happy with that.
And even with the experience dead even, we do see some small disparities in the level back and forth, the level here and there on the right-hand side of the map for the Warriors an advantage, but now we see the advantage left side of the map in favor of the Scarabs, and that's where they're putting their pressure at here. Purple buff yet again being looked at by Inbound and the boys of the Scarabs. Meanwhile, all 5 have rotated over to this left side. Maybe not necessarily to just steal the camp, but maybe to go for another kill. Stun onto Vote. Petrify comes through, but it's just a little bit late. Vote able to make it out. Cuvo gets slammed down by Solar Troll in the ultimate. Up into the Dragon goes Inbound, looking for their target. It's going to be Neil, pulled back and taken down by Stewart. Vote back under the tower, but with Nika's rotation, he picks up Stewart in the back. Cuvo takes down Inbound, and now Cherry is on the wrong side of the tower. Beats to immune a little bit of the CC, but he's not going to make it out of here. Surrounded by 3. 3, but not able to take anyone with him.
For a split second, I thought we'd see Cherio go for the hero play, tie up his cope, and finish off.
I'm never this lucky on a Zhang Kui. I pick a Zhang Kui no matter which role, which lane I take him into. Everybody goes, Zhang Kui. Drop every single Sunder on this god. Drop every single ultimate ability as soon as he even thinks about walking up to you. And they're going to do the same thing to Inbound here as he gets chunked down by this Oni's draft. Trying to set up for that goal. Fury now are the Warriors. Maybe even looking to steal this red buff away in the process as Neil is trying to play zone duty himself all alone up here by this buff.
Hey, just playing distraction, man. The Gold Fury is going to go ahead and fall. Oni Warriors picked that one up pretty easily. And now we're starting to see a little bit of separation.
He's out there trying, and so far he's been doing pretty well for it.
Yeah, but despite all that, I'm not going to mince words. This has been dominance from the Oni Warriors. They're walking into red buffs. They're doing Gold Furies when there are plenty of people on the side of the Scarabs alive and ready to contest it. I mean, Nika's rotating on a lane early on this Zhang Kui, just waltzing into the back line saying, all right, I dare you, fight me.
Scarabs and the Warriors now rotating over as well. Even Nika has made his far rotation to the left side of the map. Meanwhile,
Inbounds.
the jungler sitting in the mid lane. Ward comes out and it'll be quickly dropped as the Warriors try and establish presence on this side of the map. Finally, starting to get a little bit of fight back, pushing them away from the Fury. They took it last time around. We did see that Gold Fury go down. Now looking to see if they can take the potential Oni Fury on top of that one. Double stun under the tower, and that's going to be the call for Nika to dive in. Petrify comes through by Stewart, but he is not winning this trade out against Nika. Forced back under the Phoenix, but Veronic doesn't have that same luxury. He gets sent back to the fountain. Stewart still living with just a sliver of health before Nika takes him down, and a quick 3-fer for the Oni Warriors.
So I guess that's what Aggro and Taco have been talking about with the strengths of Zhang Kui. Nika just does it. I mean, he just goes in. The damage output from the Scarabs, not there. Not enough to stop him from doing it. The lifesteal, the survivability, the defense in his build is enough threat to just stop the Scarabs from doing anything. SOT finally makes his way back to base in time to watch his bird die. Left side, Phoenix goes down. Oni Fury respawning very soon, and they can't step up to that. Instead, they just have to contend with the enhanced minion waves working their way through. Is it defense around the Fire Giant? For up to me, I think I'd put up my defense there. I want to look for the steal, go for the miracle play. If you think you can't win a team fight 5-on-5.
He's got his number dialed in, and now looking towards this mid lane tier 1 tower. There shouldn't be any opposition for this one as Inbound backs away. And even towards the tier 2 tower, I can't imagine that the Solar Scarabs would go for a defense here. They have some fight, but I don't know if they got that much fight left in them. Looks like it'll go down with relative ease for the Warriors. And going back kind of towards that Fire Giant, I'm with you on this. You got to make a play somewhere, and I think Fire Giant might be the best point. I mean, what secure do the Warriors really have to take that Fire Giant? You got Morgan Le Fay, does some damage, but there's not a 1K raw ultimate coming out of nowhere. On the flip side of it, Veronic doesn't have a ton of damage into his kit as well, but he's got, I would say, similar secure.
Yeah, I think Cherio might be dead here. Gets caught out by the stun, and, well, Nika's been doing just this, bullying his old buddy. The slow is enough threat on the map, and if Cherio jumps over wall, which is still not available to him, the slow will follow him through it as well. Nice blink to avoid the slow. Maybe gets him out of there. Oh, no, Heavenly. Good luck, bud.
Oh, they're going to throw the wall out there. Use one for the dash. The root's not going to connect. Cherry might be able to get the stun onto it. Still waiting for that ultimate. Nice stun comes out, avoids the brunt of the damage afterwards. And at least Cubo Fred alone on the right-hand side of the map. Cherry distracting 2 of them long enough. Card is good to keep the slow through. Nika can do this for days, and you know he wants to. Misses that ability. Not going to take down Cherio just yet. It's a matter of time. Meanwhile, the Scarabs are the one to start up the Fire Giant. Cherry finally managed to go down, but the fight on the right side breaks through. Dartis takes down Stewart. It's going to be a quick return fire onto it. Inbound falls down. Veronic pushed against the wall by Dartis, being soloed out by the mid laner. Double kill on the board. Fire Giant not even in the minds of the Oni Warriors. They're going straight for the throne room.
Yeah, that block of analysis I did where I said the Oni Warriors could pose the question of the Fire Giant to the Solar Scarabs is immediately bypassed. The Solar Scarabs say, you know what? You're not the ones asking questions here. It's us. And they go ahead and start up the Fire Giant. And, well, the screen kind of reveals how that one pans out for them. I would say that Cherio legitimately does do a lot of work inside of that engagement, just buying unmitigated 60 entire seconds for his team to not have to deal with Nika. Pretty good, but not enough for the Solar Scarabs to get that neutral objective. And, well, game 2 going to go the way of the Oni Warriors as well. I don't think it was
controlled those team fights so well on this Zhang Kui. They got him ahead early with this early gank onto Solar Troll, made sure that he was able to start off this game with a nice little lead. Then Fred did not relinquish it, and nor did Nika. No matter how far behind Vote fell or how far behind Dardes fell, just felt like they weren't going to have an answer for this, which is Zhang Kui just Zhang Kui.
You feeling vindicated here, Aggro? The Zhang Kui, you've been
no,
a,
see,
been
Dave,
a proponent?
There's a big difference between like me and Mifflin, for example, where Mifflin needs to feel vindicated.
Right. If he's next to me right now, and he was a Zhang Kui proponent,
right,
I would not have spoken yet because he's still patting himself on the back. Right.
No. See, I know I'm right, and so I don't need the validation.
Fair enough. So no vindication, but some confirmation.
Right, and I'm modest about it as well. Don't forget about that.
Right, there was nothing unmodest about what you just said.
And I'm humble about it, too.
And you're really good at giving other people a chance to speak.
Very good at that
That's pretty
as well.
spot on.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead, Dave.
I've got nothing else.
No, I got it. It's
kidding.
5-1 for Nika on the Zhang Kui. The curse of the great Zhang Quino now gone.
Let's go. It's stuck.
No, I loved that. That was great work by you. 9-1 total between those two. I mean, just really did it really well. But as you said, Vote pretty good as well.
I will say, look, given the circumstances, we've mentioned that the Oni Warriors did and should and did win this set. Stuart, I think there were some question marks on how, you haven't had that much team play time. I know Inbound mentioned that how the standings break down after today. We actually had 2 matchups of teams that were tied up in the standings in their respective games. The Camelot Kings and what was the Atlantis Leviathans were tied for second, both at 3-1. Now the Leviathans down beneath, technically still tied with the Tartarus Titans over there in third place. And then the Oni Warriors and the Solar Scarabs were tied for 7th place. Going into that matchup, the Oni Warriors get their second win, and now they are tied with the Jade Dragons over there in 5th place. I got to admit, Aggro, outside of Bolts and Kings, and maybe some of the lower teams, this is looking a little interesting here, where the Dragons fall down, the Leviathans a little bit further down. Interesting so far in the standings.
Bit of a traffic jam in the middle. Who would have thought that the Warriors and the Dragons would have the same record at this point? That is crazy to think about. The Dragons, and the look, it's not getting any easier for them. They've got the Kings tomorrow.